Welcome guys, hey Blasty here. This is gonna be a no-hit run of Momodora Reveire under the Moonlight, done in insane difficulty and with true ending. The reason I did it for true ending was for speedrun purposes, but you can also like not do a true ending if you want to. There's just a minor difference. You just get the upgrade of the leaf and you fight an extra boss, or at least third phase of a boss, versus like the normal ending. So I'm gonna be doing, actually after a while playing this game, I decided to not go for like really risky strats that speedrunners do, but I'm still like implementing some of them, and you're gonna see some of them on the bosses as well. As for routes and how to approach it, I took theirs and then I modified it to make it a little bit more safe while still being relatively fast. That said, you can approach this game a bit more safely than what I'm doing, honestly. What I'm doing here is pretty much self-explanatory. Those enemies to throw bombs, they actually poison. When the bomb explodes, it's a poison. So what I do is that I jump as soon as I get close to them or whatever, because the poison will not take effect quickly. It's around, I don't know, 0.5 second after you've been there, or like a second or something. And so right here you'll see that I actually touched the smoke of it, but it didn't poison me. So you have a little bit of time to just get out of there. So you can just get in, roll out, or just jump depending on what situation you're at. The first section of this game, which is what we're doing here, speedrunners like to call this Reset City, and I agree. It's by far one of the hardest. Well, not really one of the hardest, but it's pretty easy to die early here, especially for speedrunners since they do more riskier strats. As you can see here, I touched the smoke and it didn't affect me, but I rolled the second one. Also, you're gonna see this was done on stream, so you're gonna see people talking, because this was a recording. Anyway, so for this section, usually what runners do, they just roll past the shield guy and then kill the other one, or actually shoot them with an arrow on the one on the far back, and then just goes for a double jump here. Try to go for a max double jump there. Or else you won't make it. Here I jump forward and backward to aggro that enemy, and once he's down, then I jump, because you know it's a lot more riskier. We're going on to the first boss, which is Arthropod Demon. This boss has a way to defeat him really quickly, which is like standing at the edge, in the beginning edge of the bridge, and then shooting a charge arrow at the right time. But that's really pretty risky, so I don't recommend it for no hit run. What I'm doing here is that his attacks will miss if you're crouching like in front of him. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to stay always close to him and ducking. And then if he goes for that attack, you can just go for a 3-hit punish. And after that, you can go for 3 hits here. What I'm doing is jump, arrow hit, jump again, arrow hit, and then falling down with another aerial. And when I do have the charge arrows, I substitute the third hit for a charge arrow. So you can also do that, which does a lot of damage. First enemy here, you can actually kill him if you want to. I just run. I don't roll here, because by just running, I'll be close enough in time to like input a roll near him and then get past him. So this is the only item that you're gonna buy, which is Crystal Seed. You're gonna need 80 for 80 of this game's currency to actually buy Crystal Seed. We're gonna use it to like buff our damage. So it's a must-have. Once you get to that first merchant, you buy that. Here I clear the 2 dogs. Trigger both of the mages on the top to actually shoot and then roll past them. Pretty safe. After this, you don't need more currency at all. You're not gonna buy anything else. I stop here to kill this guy. I used to like roll his bomb and then roll him, but I've gotten hit a couple times, so it's not completely safe. Do not move forward, or else that guy who spawned will spawn. Okay, so here's Moka. Moka, what you want to do is that you want to hit him and kick him to the corner. As long as you're hitting him, he doesn't have a hitbox. So that's really good to note. And then you want to be like safe, you know, away from him. Also, that bomb that he shoots, the projectiles in this game will most likely like land in front of you, not where you are. They will always be in front of you. So if you stand still, they will stop in front of you and you can roll away. Just don't try to run when he's shooting it. Just wait for it to get close to you and then you run away. But yeah, always on Moka, try to like as long as you're hitting him melee wise, he will not have like a hitbox on you. So after that, a quarter way you get to Lubella. Lubella, honestly, stay in the center. Right, the bombs, the little orbs that drop from the top will not hit you. So stay in the center. There's more to it to this fight, but it just goes really quick. What I do is I go for 5 hits and then charge arrows, and that's pretty much it. You know, 5 hits, charge arrows, 5 hits, charge arrows. Stay in the center, and you should be Gucci. There's a lot happening here, so here I kill the mage before going forward. 4 hits to kill the dogs each of the arrows. If you're feeling savage, you can actually, you know, there's a way to get past them. We're gonna be moving on to Derelict Frida, which is the next boss, because that's another thing I forgot to mention. So when you no hit, in this game, when you don't no hit bosses, when you don't take damage, they drop items. So this game rewards you for killing bosses without getting hit. So that is very important, because there's a couple bosses we're gonna need their items. First one was Lubella. Lubella actually drops Backman Patch, which we're gonna really need for a specific boss, and I'll tell you the strat when we get there. For the next boss, which is Derelict Frida, we're gonna need also his item. Is another very important one. So try not to get hit there. I'll show you the strats. He is one of the most easiest boss in this game. Yeah. Okay. So each of these rooms, not all of them, but most of them have these like bats that you see right now. They will spawn in the other side of which you come out. So if you come from a door on the right side, they will spawn on the left side, and if you come from the left side, they will spawn on the right side. So always have in mind that. The only RNG about them is like whether they will spawn at the top or the bottom or in the middle. Like right now they're in the bottom. They can spawn either way in any part of the room. In terms of height, I always roll once here, wait to see where he is at, and then I roll forward. So if he spawns middle, I'll wait for him to get close to me, and then I'll roll past him. And if I see him in the bottom or top, I just keep rolling like normal. These rooms you will see one. There's not one right here, but usually there is. In this room there isn't. On the next room I think there is also. Yes, this room will have one as well. Sometimes I like to shoot arrows to see if they're gonna be like in my line of like, you know, where I'm traversing. Here hit this guy once to stagger him so you can get, you know, go up free. On this room, if you on that transition, if you jump, you'll get into the platform. And you can just keep going up. Well, here, I shoot arrows here to just make sure where he's at. If I see him on the bottom or top, I keep moving. Okay, so the arrow I shot was to activate actually a open up like some sort of like a hatch to the top, which is right here. That would be close if you don't hit this sphere in the bottom. Hit him, roll past him, wait for the 2 attacks. He usually does 2 instead of 1. Don't get baited by 1. Always wait for the second one. And if it doesn't come out, then you can just, you know, move. Just hit him and then get past them. So you stagger. Always stagger them. It's important. Okay, so this is Derelict Frida. I call him Slam Dracula, I don't know why. All you want to do is You're gonna activate Crystal Seed and then just duck all the time and shoot arrows. Duck all the time. I like to be in the corners for Derelict Frida. He can spawn dogs. He can shoot a laser. He can also do a charged laser, which is even a wider range. Most of his attacks, as long as you're crouching. Okay, here comes the charged laser. So the charged laser, 4 hits to stagger, and he will stop doing it. Always 4 lasers. This is 4 hits. That's the laser. As long as you're ducking, he will not hit you. Just so you know. The fight is always just this: staying ducked and just shooting lasers. When he comes close to you, he can go for a melee attack, sort of. He sort of ducks and then like attacks you. You can jump over that attack, but you're not gonna see it here. Ducking and shooting lasers pretty much covers everything except his charged laser, which you have to go to him and then do 4 hits. Remember that 4 hit staggers. So we picked up the sparse thread, which is gonna be super important for later. For later strats. Here I like to hit this enemy or not. Sometimes I don't, depending on if I'm feeling cheeky. Okay, this is important. Roll behind him, hit him, roll forward, wait for his print, throw the bomb, and then roll. You're gonna have to iframe that by rolling. That's the best way to break it. You can watch it, you know, stop and see it again. Just do what I say. And not always as I do. But what I did there, just do what I did and what I said. This section should be free. You don't have to worry about this. Some sort of traps here and there. You can go under them, under the top, but I prefer to like wait and go for the safe one. Okay, so next boss is gonna be Lubella. Lubella is a harder version of the Lubella 2 is actually a harder version of Lubella 1. Same thing. Stay in the middle, and then, well, not always stay in the middle. When she goes for the orbs on the top, you're gonna want to stay in the middle, right? I sort of use like sort of the stage to like let me know like where should I be positioned. And then when she throws the orbs, she's gonna go for 2 more. Move to the left where the orbs last hit. You're gonna have to watch this and look at my positioning. Right now I'm standing in the middle, and when she goes for the orbs, oh, she's gonna go for this as well. This is another attack. You can either run past it or roll it. Okay, here's the orbs. Move to the left, and then the next 2 attacks will just miss. So stay on the left side, and then reset back to the center. Your goal is gonna be to like stay on the center. Be careful with using melee attacks. I usually am, you know, focusing on just using my charge arrows here. Really. After a certain amount of health, the stage gets smaller, and so when she does this, wait for the second orbs to blink and roll twice. Don't do what I did there. Roll back and forth. Roll forward and then backwards. Stay in the middle. Walk to the left here. This next 2 attacks will not hit you. And then, if you're feeling safe, then when those orbs are coming down, you can actually use sparse thread. You can double sparse thread safely after the first orb. You know, first orbs comes down, walk to the left. You can do double sparse thread, which is safe. Don't do sparse thread in any other situation because it's pretty risky. I usually just do it after that. Here's where we get cat form. For the remainder of the run, I try to always go for cat form. This section, try to always get this. You know, don't double jump. Never double jump that because she will catch you with the attack. Try to always go for full jumps and don't miss the platform. Couple rolls here and there. Next up is gonna be a heretical. I forgot her name. It's heretical something. For heretical, honestly, also be in cat form here if you want to. I'm always in cat form. Most of the time, you want to be in cat form. There's gonna be a couple of situations where I'm not. Actually, I know why I'm not here in cat form. I was doing something for Reveire, showing him something. actually, as a matter of fact, there's gonna be a moment where I'm gonna show something as well. So, apologize for that. Okay, so let's talk Heretical. You are gonna have an ally helping you, which is gonna be pretty fine. For Heretical, I'm going to just use arrows as well. I'm not gonna be using melee. A lot of the bosses here, I prefer to actually attack them from a distance because you don't quite understand well their hitbox. Some of them, when you're staggering them, their hitbox won't be active, and so it won't hit you. But sometimes they will. Before we keep talking, what I did there is actually touch the bell. You're gonna want to do that because next thing we're gonna go is for the teleport, and you're gonna want to teleport back to there instead of going through this whole route, which is pretty scary. So yeah, for Heretical, which we're not gonna do yet, we're gonna actually go for the teleport first. Actually, we can talk about Heretical later. Here, those bars thread, and that ends the fight pretty much. You can actually face that enemy way sooner, as I did in my casual run. But you don't go through there. You go there really late into the run, actually midway through the run, and I just those bars thread will kill him. This route we're going for right now is basically going to like sort of the beginning of the game, and we're gonna go get the ability to warp, which is really nice, and also the crest badge, was it? The crest item. In this game, to be able to progress to like the end game, you need 4 crest, which is what we're getting. And if I'm not mistaken, this is our 2nd crest. First crest being the one on Derelict Frida. Okay, this part is pretty important. So here, I decide to use Backman Patch, and the reason is because this room is not consistent. So double Backman Patch, and try to clear as much enemies as you can. More importantly, the ones that are like use throwing daggers for you. I mean, throwing daggers at you, and then you clear the rest. So always double Backman Patch, just because it's really inconsistent. At least this room, is really inconsistent. I lost a lot of runs in this room just by trying to find a way to like kill some of the enemies on the right, and then dropping down and shooting them the rest with our arrows. Today I recently learned that I could just use Backman Patch and kill them all, so there you go. So yeah, you're gonna need 4 crests to open the end game, or the final sections to the game, so you can get to the last 2 to 3 bosses. And now since we got our 2nd crest, we can now warp to any of the bells that we rang, so that's really good, just so you know. Now we're going for Derelict, for Heretical, which is our, was it 5th boss, I think? So Heretical is basically you shoot arrows, stay the distance. He also does projectiles. And for the projectiles of him, like, work exactly like with Moka. Where like the projectiles will just land in front of you. So don't run back. Just wait for the projectiles to get close to you and then run. You're gonna want to have Heretical. You're gonna want Heretical not to pressure you into a corner. And if you do try to get away from him, shoot these barrels because it's not safe to have them. Here I'm gonna use the Crystal Seed, and then I think I don't do Backman Patch. You can actually do Backman Patch just for extra damage. I do Fairy. I'll tell you later. Fairy is something that was an addition to the game, and it does some damage, but it proves useful from time to time. It's just the damage where it lands is pretty RNG-ish. So here you see the projectiles landing in front of me, and then I move back once they have reached me. Because if you keep running back, she will corner you like she's cornering me now, and then it's pretty bad. So here I try to make sure the orbs land little bit forward, so I can just go for a double jump. And now I have a lot of room to work with. Don't be afraid of the orbs, they will not touch you, they will just land in front of you. But I do suggest as soon as they land in front of you, get out. So, something to note, when she dashes back, move forward, you want to be controlling her space, or the space in the stage. And always try to have her in the center. That's my recommendation for every single boss in this game. Or any boss that I've ever fought. Always have them in center stage, because you want to have control over the rest of the room, so you have space to like work with. Never be pressured in a corner. Not really good. Like I said, no hitting every single boss in this game, or at least a lot of the bosses, except Lubella 2, which doesn't matter. No hitting all the bosses here will give you items that we crucially need, and so this boss drops Pocket and Sensory, which adds fire damage to our attacks, including arrows. And Backman Patch, which is super important. Especially for the next boss that we're going to be... we're going to fight, which is Fennel. I think his partner... Fennel, I think is her name. Oh, actually, here I think I show my viewer something. I think. So you're going to have to apologize. I'm going to have to apologize for this. We're gonna go pick up a key to open the next section for Pardon Fennel. And here I'm cleaning this room because this room is... I've gotten hit a couple times and I just don't like it. Also, these guys, at least for my runs, I count them as a hit when they die. They actually... they apply some CC, which lets you unable to use items or consumables. So at least for my runs, my general rule is any form of CC that comes from an enemy counts as a hit. So if you want to actually adopt my rules, that's that's a thing to take in consideration. I think I've lost like 2 rounds due to them. And I think here's where I actually show it. Anyways, while that's happening, I guess I can talk about the rules. Yeah, I was showing them how to actually make the Santa hat with my emote. Anyways, so the rules are any form of CC counts as a hit. Taking fall damage in a game does not count as a hit. It actually counts as fall damage. But dying due to fall damage does count as a hit. Any sort of self-stagger CC or self-damage doesn't count as a hit. It's because I like the idea of like doing setups for, like, for example, if there's an item that if I take damage, then I gain, extra damage, and I like those kind of stuff. Let's see. Shoot this guy, and then wait for the contraption to open. Roll here, double jump here, charge the arrow and kill them. A semi-charge arrow will kill him. I do the same for the next 2 guys. I wait for the fog as well. So yeah, any form of CC, getting stagger, getting grab counts as a hit. Fall damage doesn't count as a hit. Dying due to fall damage does count as a hit. Okay, so here's part of Fennel. Choose your sharp arrow, double sparse thread, and then when she's buffing, do double background patch. And then the rest is shoot this. Now the reason it didn't work for me here is because I forgot to apply pocket and sensory like you see here. So I had to go for a little bit of plan B, which is get good mode. But charge arrows into double sparse thread into double background patch will kill her. And then the rest you can do like 3 charge arrows. One thing to note, when she goes for the double, she goes for double slash there. First phase she will backhand sprint, Second phase, she will go for a jump attack and then backhand spring. When she does that, you can actually hit her and she will stagger. So you can use that as your advantage. There's more to that fight, but try to get a consistent, you know, try to get a consistent like charge arrow, walking towards her. She's always gonna go for a like sort of a thunder attack. Walk towards her, charge arrows, double sparse thread. She will backhand spring, run away from her or walk away from her. You can actually just input one roll and then look back and do a double backman patch. If you roll back, you should be your casting should be on par with her buffing, and as soon as she is done, the spell should be hitting her. It's important that you actually time it right because you're gonna need it to stagger her, and so that way it sets up for the second backman patch. From that, just stay, you know, in a range and voila, she should be dead. Just make sure to have double sparse, backman patch, and pocketing sensory. Super important, pocketing sensory. If you don't have that put in your passive, she will not die. That's the key for her to dying. As for my routing here, just do everything I'm doing. It's hard to explain all this. I would have to go like more in depth if I wanted to explain the route. But you can actually play way safer. The reason I'm actually not doing it that safe is because speedrun. I wanted to like incorporate speedrun into my no-hit run, at least for the first time. For, you know, one time at least in my life. So this is that game. Sadly enough, I did not get the run. I mean, sorry, I didn't got the speedrun viable because I reset the timer instead of stopping it, which is sad. So those two dudes, once you come out, just dash the first one and then roll the next one. Okay, Lupiar, stand in this hole right here, backman patch once, move forwards, and then skip the cutscene, backman patch again. Here I think I had to get good because he can double sparse thread here, but it's a little bit unsafe. So here, get good. When she rolls in, you can go for a for one hit and then sparse thread. Okay, here I charge, full charge, hit, charge, and sparse thread, and then the rest is just arrow shots. My guy will teleport to you, so pay attention to like the visual cue. You will see like an effect of like, you know, like 2 circles before he's gonna appear. Just get out of there. When you see that, just dash out, jump, dash out. Fight him from a distance. Honestly, because he has a bigger hitbox than what you think. Okay, so for here, I actually aggro these guys to just drop in the water, and I stay here. Once they drop, you can move forward. This is a little bit risky to like go with them there, so I prefer to like just wait. Air dash this, wait to get the air dash, and then dash again. Hit to stagger, turn into cat. Here, move forward, back, and then forward. The reason because of that is because of the those little trap thingies. I forgot the name of these things. By the time you do that and then dash, you will not get hit by those. That route that I just did, you can do exactly what I did. Okay, so here's important. This is not intended. Do a backman patch on that bell. That opens up this door. And so you don't have to go like through the normal route, which is a lot. I think it's longer and probably less safe. And once you do that, you can actually teleport out. Now, what I'm doing here, you don't have to really do it, but I'm doing it because of speedrun rules. And so you're gonna need to get the upgrade of the leaf, and by doing that, also sealed win here. Opens this, turns back into cat. Don't do this, I didn't meant to do this. Turn to cat mode and just do here. Take the leaf. You don't have to do this, but for speedrun's sake, you need to have finished the game with the true ending. And honestly, the game ends on you dying, so if you want to kind of make it, you know, sort of like a no-hit and don't count the cutscene as a hit, you can choose for the true ending, which is like you don't die, you kind of like transcend. Don't go here, this is not what I meant. I meant here. Okay, so we're pretty close to the end of it. We just need to go through like a mini boss and then the queen, which is the last boss. This section here, you can actually do this without killing them, but it's inconsistent for me, so I killed them all. There's only 3 enemies. There's a skeleton and 2 mage, which you can just kill them if you want to. I think it's way safer and it doesn't take that much time for you. Here, double jump into dash, double jump again, and then go up. Wait for the bomb, and then dash through him. Go up, and then this section is pretty safe. There you go. Turn human, go up the ladder, turn cat again. And here, I didn't want it to be optimal since I was really late in the game. I want to save my dash to get through this mage here. Okay, so fairy. I don't know, I forgot the name of this enemy. I call him fairy. You're gonna need Tainted Missive into double sparse thread. I don't do it right here, but what you're gonna do is once you disappear, count to 3, buff with Tainted Missive, and then double sparse thread into 2 hits kills her. I thought it was the left one and didn't work out, so we're gonna take a little bit more time here. But the normal way to do it is double sparse thread, and 2 hits should kill her easily. The way to know who is the real of those enemies is the little like visual effect this game is showing me. Like it goes in red, as opposed to the rest of the enemies is just transparent. So that's how you know which one is the real one. So remember, Tainted Missive into double sparse thread into 2 hits and you should kill her. So don't rush it like I did, just wait for it a little bit, and once you see it, go for a double sparse thread into that. Here, once you see a second mage, I like to be on the right corner, and once that she attacks me, I double jump and should miss. Okay, so onto the last boss, which is the queen. There's ways to do the queen, but I'm gonna do the safe way. I am going to buff Tainted Misses when I'm able to, charge arrows as soon as possible, and when she pops in, shoot arrow, go for 3 combo, and then roll past her. When she appears like that, like from the ground up, she will always go for she will shoot a projectile. That projectile is sort of like a bomb, or explodes right there. When she disappears, try to always be ducking, because she could do that. So I always try to duck. Here, she starts with this. I just try to go for some damage. I didn't do it optimal, so this is not gonna kill her. Okay, so while you're seeing this, let me explain the last part. The last part is like pretty easy. You're gonna need Tainted Missive into Backman Patch. Tainted Missive into Backman Patch. Right here. When the screen goes white, count 2 seconds, do Tainted Missive, and then throw Backman Patch as soon as you can. Double them. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna go for 3 combos while you're charging your arrows. Charging your arrows, full charge. And once you're done with the 3 combo, you release the charge arrows, and that will kill it. So it's basically Tainted Missive into 2 Backman Patch, 3 combos of 3 hits each, while you're charging your arrows fully charged, and then you release the arrows, she'll kill him. And that's pretty much it for the run. The run went pretty quick. There's a lot of the game. I can explain it more in depth. But honestly, for no-hit runs, the thing about no-hit runs is just it takes like experience to like understand what's happening in every single moment. So my suggestions to you is just, you know, play a ton, and you'll see. You'll do as what I do, but you will not understand why I do it, right? And so playing it a ton will give you an idea of like, why do I do what I do, and maybe your strats, my strats, you can maybe make it, you know, better for like your style of play. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's Momodora Reverie Under the Moonlight no hit run. And it's actually called Momodora Reverie Under the Moonlight. Let me see. Yeah, Under the Moonlight. Yeah. There you go. So yeah, key bosses that if you do it right, you don't have to deal with them. Partner Fennel, which is what I call Maiden. Always have Pocket and Sensory on passive. It's super important, right? Walk in, make sure you charge the arrows. First charge. I don't think you actually take second charge. I don't really know. First charge arrows. Walk in, skip the cutscenes, walk forward. Once you get close to her, her attack will miss. She always goes for thunder. Her attack will miss. Shooter will stagger. Double sparse thread. Roll back. While you're rolling back, she will be doing a backhand spring. Try to do double backman patch as soon as she's buffing. Try to time that out, because when she finishes buffing, backman patch spell will hit. And so it will stagger and it will allow it to go for the second backman patch. So that way she doesn't rush you forward, because then you're going to be on a tough spot. So you do that exactly as I said. You will not have to deal with partner Fennel at all. For the Queen, can't tell you much about the first two. There's a correct way to doing it. There's actually a speedrun strat doing it, which you don't have to even deal with nothing of their shenanigans. You just gotta, you know, be really optimal. At least for the third phase of the Queen, I think is very, you know, sort of dupe friendly, if you say. So basically, you know, just what I said. Tainted Missive into, just wait for the flash, for the screen to turn white. Tainted Missive into double backman patch. Right? Stay on the right side if you will. And, you know, stay on the right side looking towards the left, double backman patch. Into 3 combos, and while charging the arrow, full charge it, and then the full charge should kill him after the three combo. Don't wait too long after the 3 combo, because the next attack, you know, you're gonna have to roll it, and rolling actually cancels your charge, which means you're gonna have to, you know, you're gonna have a section of get good, right? So anyways, that's been it. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed it, please leave a like and sub. And I also stream every single day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. This twitch.tv/ablasty. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer you and help you with the run.